We begin our show today with what we hope is a lovely farewell to winter. Each year the MLH sends out swatch samples created by different member guilds. When it was our turn, many members didn't want to weave the swatches because the patterns could be brought up on the computer. But 4 of our members disagreed, found a pattern that didn't look like the screen version, and each one wove it using a different combination of colors and yarns. Georgia Gleason chose the structure in black and white to create the fabric for this coat. She used the same yarn to knit the triangular scarf with a short row technique, using larger needles to result in a gauzy fabric. And this is in her personal wardrobe. It is not available for sale today. Eco-printing has become one of the most popular methods of surface design today. Leaves and flowers are laid out on the fabric, which is tightly bound and boiled or steamed. The heat releases the tannins and natural colors in the leaves to form ghost prints on the fabric. One of our newer members, Agnes Soderbeck, combs resale shops to find gently used garments that are appropriate for treatment by this technique. This particular one is a lovely yellow blazer. It's a size large and available today for $130. Featuring an 8-2 spun rayon and slub rayon warp with a fine Yager spun wool weft, a freewheeling point twill structure permitted Marla Smith the creative freedom to randomly insert diamond patterns of various sizes. The flowing lines of the fully lined white-on-white tunic require an up-close look to discover the subtle diamond designs in the fabric. Antique pearl buttons accent the sleeves and the back closure. And black is a staple garment color in the corporate world, so a scarf of any color is always appropriate for eliminating some of the sartorial boredom. Nancy Hedberg was inspired, however, by a catalog photo of a black and white scarf. Selecting a combination of tencel, wool, silk, and cashmere, and choosing a shadow weave structure that alternates light and dark and matte and shiny yarns. Every other thread in both the warp and the weft. The pattern is a 50-shot repeat, and Nancy suggests, for those of you who are weavers, that you not allow your husband to talk whilst weaving. Neither the tunic nor the scarf are available for sale today, but we're delighted to have them. Michelle Montour is still intrigued with the lines and shapes that emerged from the Arashi dyeing technique, making a connection between us and the world, where linear lines are used to measure light and heat and heart and brain waves. Finding her muse again after some challenges, Michelle has been experimenting with air-set dyes. The silk poncho features underlying layers of silk in green and deep coral, both over-dyed with the same colors. The seam finishes are felted, then machine stitching mimics the design elements of the shibori lines. And with this, we've added Amy Cameron's geode necklace, because it reminded Amy of the geode chunks. The rough-cut stones needed only a bezel of silver seed beads to show them off. To create a purposeful randomness, each stone was set and embellished with peyote and bead embroidery before another stone was added to the design. The poncho is not for sale today, but the necklace is available for $285. And all of the items on the runway that are for sale will be immediately available in the sales area right after the show. So if you see something you like, make a beeline for it. Looking through a book of kimono designs, inspired Terry O'Toole's newest jackets. Continuing the loose, easy-to-wear shapes that she is noted for, but with a nod to the traditional kimono styling. Having so much fun creating the first one, she decided to make a second one, moving far away from her usual jewel tone color box to the soft greens and beiges reminiscent of a spring palette. Must have been one of those winter days. Always incorporating her signature touch of sparkle, the hand-dyed cotton and rayon blend fabric is a tabby weave with a 5/2 pearl cotton weft. The beige jacket is not available today, but the colorful one is a size medium large and is available for $165. Over the years, Carol Furtado has created garments and accessories using a variety of techniques alone and in combination. Her current medium of choice is Nuno felting. Pre-felted merino wool is easily felted into silk or other natural fabrics and can be cut into any size and shape and then dyed with a number of different techniques. The floral theme is a current favorite of Carol's, allowing maximum opportunities to play with color shading. The pink and orange scarf shawl that Barb wears is $220 today. The teal scarf is $195. The ruana is a traditional wrap found in many cultures around the world. The versatility has caused its widespread appearance as a fashionable garment or accessory that can be worn in a myriad of ways. Ann McKinnon offers an earthy brushed cotton and silk wrap in terracotta with a marbled stone pattern accent. It's perfect for those cool evenings when a coat might be too much coverage. Easily packable and perfect for travel, it is warm and attractive with a look that changes depending on the way you choose to wear it. This is a very reasonable purchase today, $85, and it's one size. Streaks of blue and green dancing in the winter sky were the inspiration for Barb Schutzgruber's Northern Lights jacket. Woven in plain weave at 30 ends per inch, the warp is a 5-color shift using single color and space-dyed 10-2 cotton yarns with a weft of a solid color rayon slub. Featuring denim trimmed 3/4 sleeves and a shawl collar, the bias-cut unlined jacket has a beautiful drape, perfect for spring or cool summer nights. It's a size medium and available today for $350. And Ann McKinnon has designed another ruana to be comfortable in the changing temperatures of our daily lives. Wrap it around you tightly when it's cold or use it as sun protection in the warmer weather. A perfect multi-purpose garment for your spring-summer wardrobe. It is 100% cotton gauze, lightweight and wrinkle resistant, trimmed with Easter colors inspired by the hand-marbled silk trim. And we know that a beautiful piece of jewelry can dress up any outfit. We've added one by Carol Fleischer. Originally the focal point of a belt buckle that longed to be a necklace, the porcelain piece is painted with an Asian landscape and features a bead embroidered bezel supported with hand-tied mother-of-pearl beads. The ruana is one size, $85 today, and the necklace is $175. Terry Voigt is a master at recycling, or rather repurposing, an odd piece of plastic, a metal washer, plastic cable reels, or old trivets. The linen polyester blend fabric was dyed, stamped, and painted with found objects, then over-dyed with a deep denim color. Offering the look and feel of fine linen without the wrinkles, this is another multi-purpose addition to your wardrobe, casual or dressy, and perfect for travel. And we've added another piece of statement jewelry. Amy Cameron enhanced the large dichroic glass cab centerpiece with bead embroidery and peyote stitch, incorporating many of the colors in the glass. The jacket is a size large, available today for $229. The necklace is $175. Agnes Soderbeck is one of our newest members, and we're delighted to bring her take on Nuno felting to our runway today. With a silk chiffon print base, merino wool, bamboo, and hand-spun yarns were melded in the felting process to create a fabric that is strong enough to support the garment design, yet flexible and lightweight enough for comfort. And a Nuno felted hat completes the ensemble. Although the two pieces are available separately today, the jacket is size large at $240, the hat is size medium at $48. Susie Craigie designed these next pieces as a coordinating ensemble, but we've chosen to present them as separates to emphasize their versatility. The graceful flowing skirt is embellished with an original design, while the t-shirt features two original designs, silk screened in gold metallic. The Easy Care fabric is a polyester knit with a bit of stretch. Machine washable and dryable, they would make a perfect addition to your summer wardrobe and pack very nicely as ensemble pieces for travel. The skirt is a size large, available for $95. The t-shirt is a medium, available for $75. As we know, artists get their inspiration from many different places. Olga Austin's idea came on a February day when snow on the roof was melting and dripping rhythmically into the snow on the ground. The design appeared and disappeared during the weaving process as the natural off-white weft, when combined with the hand-painted feathering blocks of color in the warp, both reveals and conceals the design of the weave structure. Olga is another one of our newest members, and we're delighted to have her garments on the runway today. Unfortunately, this one is not for sale. Bias cut clothing usually has a lovely drape that is flatteringly comfortable to wear. The DePolo method uses much less fabric than a traditional bias cut garment, eliminating side seams as the fabric spirals around the body. The stripes created from the Arashi pattern appear to be on the diagonal, but are actually on the straight fabric grain. An amended dye process was used to soften the stripes on the linen cotton polyester blend fabric. We've added Jenny's shoes peyote stitch bracelet. It's an original design and the first of a new series for her. Based on the ginkgo leaf, which comes in many different colors, this one combines a variety of shades in green to represent the leaves. And we've added another of Carol Fleischer's hand-painted scarves, this one featuring lovely yellow spring tulips, since we couldn't see them coming out of the ground. The dress is a size medium, available today for $110, the bracelet is $500, and the scarf is $52. We always look forward to seeing Karen Losey's unique hats on the runway, and as soon as it came out from the back room, it got some attention. This hat is her first dissection of a small polar bear, and her first hat with a mission and a website. Sue McDowell, who owns this hat and who is gracing our runway at the moment, is the author of the blog 25000bears.org, a fundraiser for Arctic research. Sue's husband commissioned the hat to honor the love they share for polar bears. For Karen, the most difficult part of the creation was keeping the surprise from Susan, although she said many of their friends knew and no one let it slip. Either of these luxurious shawls will make you feel like you are wrapped in a soft cocoon of elegance. Hand woven in an undulating twill structure, the generous 21 by 89 inch size is an ample length to wrap around or toss over your shoulder. They are 20% silk and 80% alpaca. Those yarns are lightweight but warm and definitely suitable for year-round wear. The shawls are $160 each today. Terry Voigt learned freeform crochet from fellow guild member Sandra Van Berklio and has been joyously breaking all the rules of traditional crochet ever since. The imaginative creativity of working without a pattern is a free-flowing process of changing the height, density, and direction of basic stitches, while incorporating a variety of yarns in different textures, weights, and colors. The motifs of the cream cape that Paula is wearing and the blue sweater were crocheted together, while the motifs of the white sweater were assembled in a different design structure. The cape features 2 glass buttons, melded and sandblasted by Terry. The sweaters are not available today, but the cape is one size and is available for $275. Judy Petrovich's garments always begin with a one-of-a-kind fabric, and this A-line hooded jacket is no exception. A green woven cotton velour is integrated with a layer of caramel polyrayon fiber to create a rich suede-like outer fabric with a shimmering bronze cast and a colorful lining. The hood is lined with raw silk, botanically dyed with an array of colorful leaves. Subtle details include a figure-flattering curved hemline, braided trim to conceal the transition from fabric to lining, inside patch pockets neatly top-stitched to stay in position and retain the slender garment profile, and a handmade walnut button. This jacket is a size small and is available today for $235. And this is also another garment by Judy Petrovich. This is an open front vest that began as a lightweight green cotton fabric woven with a fine metallic thread. The integration of tan and brown alpaca, felted into a swirl pattern, created a marbleized fabric that shimmers. Designed to incorporate a natural finish edge, the vest is embellished with free motion embroidery and features a concealed snap to provide an additional front closure. The vest is a size medium and is available today for $130. We have two lovely orange toned scarves on our runway. Jenny sports Ann McKinnon's Cosmic Stone patterned scarf, designed to brighten up any outfit and maybe even your mood on the dreariest day. The silk fabric immediately absorbs the droplets of acrylic artist paints floated on the gel surface to create the permanent design. And this past winter was perfect for snow dyeing. Although there are several different methods, Jeannie Sarna always seems to revert to her favorite one. And with a walkout basement, she just opens the door wall to easily collect the snow. The snow takes several days to melt, and as the dye gets very cold, it fissures into its component colors, often creating the appearance of a flower-like pattern. Jeannie's scarf, the snow-dyed scarf, is available today for $40. And Ann's scarf is $42. As one would expect, a fashion show usually features garment and accessory fashions. But our artists do occasionally enjoy the challenge of making something handsome and cheerful that also fills a utilitarian need. Hospitalization and recovery inspired this design. After her first hip surgery, Marion Martzoff was loaned a flowered cotton bag to hang on the walker to transport items between her room and her therapy sessions. For her second hip surgery, she decided she could weave a more cheerful and useful bag. After experimenting with a variety of ways to affix the bag to the walker in a way that made it easily removable, she finally found that snap tape was most efficient. And many of you probably know someone who could use one of these bags. It's available today for $40. The collage lends itself especially well for the asymmetric garments that Bonnie Kay favors. She has been using collage construction methods for several years, perfecting her techniques after taking an MLH workshop with Mary Sue Fenner. Royalty at Dusk in cotton and bamboo incorporates two fabrics, one a double harness weave and the second a beater wand structure. Now, one of the things that Bonnie did not tell me when she gave me her information was about the wonderful pocket that Jewel discovered. Show them that pocket, Jewel. This is a size medium. It's available today for $150. Artists know that there is always a way to utilize something that isn't quite right for its intended purpose. The eco-printed silk scarf that was created in a class was just too short to be a scarf. So it became part of this original design, an asymmetrical top, when combined with the coordinated hand-woven fabric by one of our other new members, Olga Austin. We welcome her creative spirit to our guild, and we look forward to seeing more of her items on the runway. On a recent trip to Paris, Ann McKinnon was struck by the prevalence of triangular scarves worn by the French women. They are everywhere, she said, worn in all seasons and for all kinds of activities. This silk chiffon version of the triangular scarf, hand marbled and finished with serged edges, offers increased versatility by combining two complementary colors and is designed to be wrapped so the bead embellishment hangs in the front. The scarf is available today for $42. I mentioned MLH fabric swatches as we opened our show today. Nancy Hedberg was one of our guild weavers preparing those samples, and the woven portion of this vest is the leftover fabric from those swatches. This is the same weave structure we saw in the black and white coat, but the interplay of the alternative color choices with a mix of several kinds of yarns, an effective technique learned from Alice Griswold, creates a fabric quite different in appearance. A linen blend fabric provides the solid background for the Vogue pattern that is trimmed in ultra suede, and a coordinated knit top and slacks completes the ensemble. This is Nancy's personal wardrobe item, but we're delighted that she shared it with us today. Some time ago, Karen Losey made Africa 1 and decided that when she made another one, it would be created differently with two giraffes as focal point. The design is hand knit of wool yarn and wet felted with wire armatures to support the necks of the giraffes and a variegated thread stitched into the brim. The zebra stripes are needle felted, and a herringbone fabric was selected for many of the other animals that have tiny crocheted tails. And although you can't see it, the inside of Karen's hats are as beautifully finished as the outside, often featuring bright and interesting linings as this one does. Someday we're going to see an entire exhibit of Karen's hats, all in one place. This blouse and skirt were featured in the 1912 spring issues of the French fashion magazine Le Mode Illustré, and might well have been seen on board the Titanic, probably in second class. Both patterns were included in the test sewing for the Vintage Pattern Lending Library's Titanic project a few years ago. For Helen Welford, there were interesting challenges, beginning with the front blouse pattern piece, which indicated where and how big the pleats should be, even though the pattern piece was already the size of the finished blouse. Other pattern pieces and written instructions didn't correspond to the illustrations, requiring construction modifications. The blouse is a shot silk Dupioni-like fabric, received from a friend who reports that it probably belonged to the vast linen supply of a wealthy Newport, Rhode Island dilettante relative. We're not sure who that relative is. The vintage lace trim covers a front placket button closure. The skirt is a wool crepe with velvet trim and self-covered buttons. When cold shoulders from chilly evenings or even chillier air conditioning call for a light wrap, you can warm up with this mini poncho by Marion Martzoff. The textured color play in a plain weave features a variety of multi-weight fibers that create a new take on an established accessory form. The mini poncho is a size medium and is available today for $125. In February, the gray Michigan winter skies start to eat at one's soul. The cure for Mary Underwood is pulling bright yarns out of the stack that remind her of spring, warm weather, and tropical sunsets. Weaving offers multiple parameters for design and inspiration. The constants are the undulating twill threading, the way the treadles are tied up, and the warp yarns. Changing the weft yarn and using different treadling patterns varies the end result. The extra fine silk weft creates a very lightweight accessory, perfect for a Caribbean vacation, or as a pick-me-up when you just can't take another gray day. These two lovely shawls are available today for $235 each. Silver crystals and the galaxy are wonderfully complementary. Crystals describes perfectly the 8-harness advancing twill weave structure in this shawl by the tensile fiber provides an especially beautiful drape. The galaxy necklace necklace was inspired by a beaded purse Carol Fleischer saw in a store window in Rome, and she created it as she perfected the technique she learned in our Saturday bead embroidery group in Saline. The shawl is $150 today. The necklace is $175. This trio of scarves were created by wet felting merino wool, bamboo, and silk with some other incorporated fibers. Lincoln locks and Jill's collar and lace medallions on Jenna's capelet. Soft, superfine, warm, and beautifully drapable, Agnes Soderbeck's cobweb lace scarves become softer and even more beautiful the more they are worn. The lock collar is $85 today. The capelet is a medium and $72, and the cobweb scarf is $62. This Judy Petrovich poncho is organic French terry, botanically printed on both sides to make it reversible. First, choose your color. For a darker shaded appearance and a warm cuddly feel, wear the smooth side out. For a lighter, subtler design image, wear the nubby, looped terry side out. Next, choose your style preference. A slightly asymmetrical look with the points facing front and back, or with the straight edges front and back, allowing the fabric length to cover your arms. The poncho is one size. It is reversible, and it's available today for $130. A simple weave in a simple design can be very elegant. Exactly what Nancy Cross envisioned when she chose a mix of linen and black metallic fibers. With a black trim and stamping embellishment, the V shape encourages a beautiful drape that is contrary to the crispness of the fabric. The wrap is available today in one size for $180. And we end the first half of our show today with a little bit of bling. It's wonderful to have friends who gift you with beautiful fabrics. This fabric was intended for a modern ball dancing gown, but Helen Welford has used it to create a design of a few decades earlier. The robe de style is an alternative style of the 1920s, featuring a full skirt below the drop waist. This robe à danseur variation minimizes the fullness in the front of the gown so that dancing with a partner is easier. The fabric is constructed of a velvet panel and an organza panel sewn onto and extending beyond it. The whole then embroidered and sequined. It was a challenge to design the dress to keep the fabric as whole as possible and to use the embroidery to its advantage. The rust underlayment was chosen to complement the embroidery of a cotton fabric that is cooler next to the skin than the polyester organza. The dress features a hidden side zipper, and the heavy velvet skirt is designed to attach by snaps and hooks so it can be detached to make dressing easier. That concludes the first half of our show today. This would be a wonderful time for you to take a restroom break. The servers will be clearing the table and serving dessert. It is a reversible pattern that creates a thick, lofty, double-sided fabric, often considered one of the most complex and complicated knit stitches. Shirley Moraes, who we welcome to our runway the first time this year, and we're delighted to have her, has been interested in brioche for some years and has actively concentrated her efforts to master it in the last year. Finding it difficult to find patterns to her liking and skill level, and in the absence of a brioche stitch dictionary, she developed a range of stitch examples from original stitch patterns or translated from other technique patterns. For this lightweight wool and mulberry silk, a lace stitch pattern was translated to brioche to create a pattern that looks the same in two directions, up or down. The actual construction was based on a 1953 pattern for a simple shrug, adapted for size, sleeve length, yarn weight, and naturally the stitch pattern. Even from here, you can see the stitch pattern. It's absolutely lovely. It is not for sale today, but we hope to see some more of Shirley's items on the runway in the future. Thank you. We have another trio by Agnes Soderbeck. Jewel is not the trio. She's not singing all three parts today. There we go. We have two. The cobweb lace scarf and capelet are joined this time by a complementary hat design. The hat is first wet felted over a resist, then styled on a hat form while the wool is still wet. In addition to the wet felting, these accessories have been embellished with eco-printing to create the distinctive rust tones. The capelet that Jewel wears is $78. The scarf is $68, and the hat in a size medium is $48. Carol Fleischer was so fond of a favorite 19th century painting that she mixed dyes to match the color palette and used them to create a 2-yard monoprint in a workshop with Sue Benner. As soon as it was washed and ironed, she knew she wanted to wear it to the opening of the Fiber by Design exhibit that several members of our guild put on. And she chose the simplest possible garment design so as not to disturb the print. And obviously, because she likes it so well, it is in her personal wardrobe, but we're happy that she shared it with us today. Comfortable travel clothing that is lightweight, packs without wrinkling, and drapes well is a trademark of Terry Voigt. And these jackets meet those criteria beautifully. The 3-rectangle construction in the subtle vertical striped fabric is appropriate for a casual or dressy engagement and is flattering on any body type. The stenciled Japanese lettering on the red jacket speaks of beauty, goodness, love, and strength, while the gray jacket hosts a bouquet of flowers. The jackets are each one size and are available for $215 today. Each of these comfortably loose-fitting shirts could become a favorite go-to item in your summer wardrobe. Trish Ritchie modified a commercial pattern to create a template that would provide a canvas for artistic expression. The crisscross features randomly stitched pin tucks, that's the one Nancy's wearing, while the lime punch displays the fugitive screening techniques learned in a Kara Grabowski workshop. They are both size large, extra large. The crisscross is available today for $75, the lime punch for $95. Carol Fleischer offers us an easy care summer hat and purse set that will go with almost anything. The lined cotton hat has an overlay of synthetic knit fabric. The cutwork design, characteristic of the Alabama Channon style, is embellished with embroidery and beads. And the matching purse is draped and beaded and features an inside pocket for keeping your cell phone handy. While they make a wonderful set, they are sold separately today at $35 each. Helen Welford created this gown for an evening on board the Queen Mary II this past October. It is made from a 1920s original pattern and Deltour Butterick design, number 5935, and is described as a Mrs. Wraparound draped one-piece dress. Unfortunately, the pattern and instructions were not as clear as today's, and some modifications in the construction were required in order to make the dress look like the illustration on the envelope. That doesn't sound too much different than today sometimes. The fabric, gifted by a friend who shared the voyage, is silk with a small overall wave motif that seemed appropriate for the occasion. The beaded embellishment on the left hip follows the pattern of the fabric, with additional beads carried across the front of the gown to camouflage a seam necessitated by the strange construction and to balance and accentuate the drape on the right hip. And Helen says it worked well. The dress dances very nicely. Another of Agnes Soderbeck's upcycled garments. This one, a blue silk blazer that serves as the background for the Eco Prints design. The leaf prints are unpredictable and always a surprise, as much surface embellishment is. Unfortunately, though, the natural colors can be fugitive and may fade over time, so Agnes suggests enjoying them like a beautiful bouquet. The silk jacket is an extra large, available today for $130. This stylish jacket by Judy Petrovich, botanically printed in warm shades of brown, rust, and gray, is comfortably luxurious in a wool knit featuring an asymmetrical, figure-flattering design. With a front panel that drapes into gentle folds, the jacket can be worn open or overlapped and secured with a pin, adding an elegantly versatile piece to your wardrobe. This is a size large and is available today for $245. Carol Fleischer has been hand-painting silk scarves for many years, and we have often seen her floral designs on the runway. The scarf blanks have exceptionally lovely hand-rolled hems, a quality of workmanship that is increasingly difficult to find in commercial products. While spring pansies are a characteristic of Carol's florals, the cranes in flight is a new design representing the Chinese symbol for longevity. These scarves are available today for $52 each. Add a little pizzazz to your summer casual look as you let nature brighten up your basic tee with floral and leaf impressions. These tees have been dyed in a variety of background colors, botanically printed, and hemmed to an over blouse length, somewhat shorter than the normal t-shirt. No two are alike, but there is something for everyone here, as Judy Petrovich has created tees in sizes ranging from small to 4X. And they are available today for $49 each. Madeline Navarro began experimenting with eco-printing some years ago, but only recently discovered the eucalyptus leaf. As the branches stretch across the fabric, they emphasize the beautiful texture of the silk noil. Creative hand stitching defines the color of the printed eucalyptus and adds other distinctively complementary colors to the design. The scarf is available today for $149. A long t-shirt dress can take you anywhere, especially in an easy care silky polyester knit, and especially when it looks like it was made for you. This sleeveless style with a slightly flared skirt and a scoop neck packs a punch with the fuchsia flowers silk screened at the hem. It's the little black dress with panache by Susie Craigie. It's a size medium, available today for $150. Liz Ritter recently began knitting with oversized needles, and she loves the results. This shawl is knit with size 50 needles. Now, for those of you who are not knitters, a size 50 needle is about the size of a broomstick. So it took some experimentation to achieve the correct shape. The open, light, airy fabric creates a versatile trans-seasonal accessory appropriate for a variety of occasions. And we've added a Karen Losey hat. As you might guess, Karen is fascinated with eyes, both human and animal, their shapes, colors, and other details. The eye of the gecko is hand knit and wet felted, featuring a beautiful repurposed scarf and embellished with 7 feet of I-cord. The hat is not available today, but the shawl is for $95. Indigenous to the village of Assam in India and rarely exported, Muga silk is collected from the cocoons once the larvae exit. Mary Underwood was talked into ordering the wild silk, known for its glossy fine texture and extreme durability, and that it sat in the silk stash pile for a couple of years. Once the loom was dressed with very dark fine cotton warp mill ends, Mary spun the natural gold silk into yarn over a series of mornings. Tone-on-tone weaving is elegant and timeless, and the cotton warp and silk weft create an interplay of dull to shiny that comes to life when exposed to lighting. Add a narrow weft strip of light color and the otherwise hidden patterned surfaces, weaving with fine yarns, 45 plus ends per inch, is at the top of Mary's most loved textiles list. Mothra Beats Godzilla is available for $345 today. Stormy Night for $235. Sometimes you need a warm outer garment, but you really want to show off the garment underneath as well. Anne McKinnon's Marbled Moon wool cape is trimmed with hand-marbled bouquet pattern in lavender and green. And if you look closely when Barb walks around, you can see the embellishment of lavender beads that follows the shape of the lower edge all the way around the garment. The cape is mostly one size and is available today for $125. Non-woven textile and is one of the earliest fabrics known to man. The wool fibers have microscopic barbs that tangle together with water, pressure, and agitation, resulting in a warm, durable fabric. Agnes Soderbeck's jackets are wet felted over a resist, incorporating merino wool, bamboo, silk, and hand-spun yarns. And when they're woven, or when they're created over a resist, there are no side seams. The jacket can be worn open or closed with a favorite pin, and we've added one of Amy Cameron's button pins. The jacket is available today for $240. The pin is $40. Marla Smith was sorting through patterns to share with her granddaughter, looking for an idea that she had in mind for FFeast, and her granddaughter is wearing this cape today, gracing our runway. When Catherine commented, "That looks nice," it was all the encouragement Marla needed. And she went about combing through her stash to find just the right mix. The capelet is 3-ply worsted wool with some Shetland wool and a bit of colorful wool mohair boucle to add some interest. It's hand woven in a simple tweed. The bow pattern features bound buttonholes and a hand-fused glass shank button by Terry Voigt. And it is not, unfortunately, available for sale today, but we're so happy that you shared it with us. Thanks, Catherine. Elements of 4 jackets have been combined in this Dupioni silk garment. Scarlet was chosen as the base color, with complementary panels of rust and highlights of a figured gold. The fold-over sleeve form was featured on a Vogue jacket and seemed to call out to be included in this style by Helen Welford. The jacket was designed as a class sample to show the possibilities of a multi-panel coder jacket, how colors can be changed, sleeve elements varied, the unusual paired with the usual. The jacket is unlined and the buttons are by Guild member Terry Voigt. And as a class sample, unfortunately, is not available for sale today. Pajogi is a historic Korean art form of patchwork that had many uses in both form and function. They serve to cover, wrap, store, and carry objects in the common person's everyday life. And specially made pajogi were used as gift wrapping. Jill Alt enjoyed the process of adapting the original flat application to create a 3-dimensional garment. The shape of the transparent fire jacket was chosen to best display the piece silk organza, and the fully lined silk dress features a complementary pieced silk organza border. The dress is a size 10-12, available for $200 today. The jacket is a medium, available for $300. The habi is a traditional short jacket, Japanese jacket, a kimono style that is versatile and flattering to most figure types. Susie Craigie has modified this design to include shoulder seams and side slits. Made from the short silk fibers after spinning, the silk noil has a slightly rough texture. The fabric was left natural and silk screened with 2 different original designs. The sleeves can be worn longer or folded back to reveal the patterned sleeve facings. The jacket is one size, available today for $275. And just as the blazer was the go-to jacket for several decades a while ago, the kimono style may be the perfect jacket for a more relaxed lifestyle now. Anne McKinnon, on the lookout for imaginative ways to use her marbled silk, and the kimono jacket is an ideal canvas. The light blue brushed herringbone cotton that Nancy wears is trimmed with a multicolored stone pattern on habitized silk. It will take Nancy from the office during the week to the farmer's market on the weekend. For evening, the slinky stretch net has a graceful swing and is trimmed with a hand-marbled silk twill in a blue bouquet pattern. The kimono jackets are basically one size, are $105 each. We know an artist's inspiration can come from anywhere, but a trip to Quest Diagnostics. On a recent visit, Karen Losey heard a story from a technician about her grandmother's bright green eyes, and that was all she needed to create another eyeball hat. The upper eyelid is stash fabric that needed more green, so Karen embroidered green arches into the fabric. And the lashes are eye cords, individual eye cords supported with wire armatures. Karen has named the hat in honor of the technician's grandmother, L.E. Walls. The classic tunic shape has a simple versatility that is an easy addition to any wardrobe. A favorite of Terry O'Toole's, the design characteristics are evident in many of the garments she creates. For this one, the tabby weave presents strong vertical lines and a flow of cascading colors in the warp, complemented by the slight texture of the cotton and rayon blend fibers. This tunic is a size medium, available today for $170. There were only a few certain periods this past winter, maybe you could remember one or two of them, when a hand dyer like Jeannie Sarna couldn't resist the opportunity to use some of that fresh snow. The cold temperature causes the dyes to break into their component parts, and the resulting dark raspberry design has been enhanced by subtle diagonal embellishment of monochromatic beads on the soft rayon knit swing tunic. It's a size extra large and available today for $100. It may be harder to remember than those snow days, but back in early March, we actually had a brief spell of warm days. Seeing the crocus begin to bloom caused many of us to get excited about the coming spring, but unfortunately, we were forced to realize that Mother Nature was playing a practical joke. Barb Schutzgruber, however, was inspired to create "When crocus bloom, spring can't be far behind." The vest is a plain weave at 30 ends per inch, featuring a 7-color blend, using a single color and space-dyed 10-2 cotton for the warp, and a solid color 8-2 tencel for the weft. The bias cut allows for a soft flow to the flattering curves of the design lines, in a vest that will be a trans-seasonal addition to your wardrobe when layered over winter turtlenecks or summer t-shirts. The vest is a size large and is available today for $275. Sometimes an artist starts out with a specific plan, and sometimes the creation occurs as a technique develops through trial and error. Liz continues her experimentation with oversized knitting needles, this time including some shaping knitted with smaller needles that altered the design, and the insertion of a section of moss stitch to vary the structure. The result is a scarf that is quite unique. And with it, we've added Barb Schutzgruber's Denim on the Go purse. It's the perfect travel accessory, woven in a combination of straight and herringbone twill with a 3-2 cotton warp and 10-2 cotton weft. The bag is trimmed and lined with denim fabric and embellished with a Welsh slate button. The scarf is $85 today and the purse is $45. A resist used in wet felting can be an armature over which the fabric is developed, creating any kind of garment. The use of the resist allows for the creation of the garment in one piece with no seams. Once the wool and other embellishment fibers are felted, the resist is removed and the felt is fulled to harden the wool fibers together and shrink the garment to size. Agnes Soderbeck's jacket incorporates bamboo, silk, and hand-spun yarn embellishments. It's a size medium and is available today for $220. There is no argument that tunics are a versatile inclusion in any wardrobe, and appropriate for most figure types. This unique variation by Susie Craigie, with a graceful flare and low pockets that add extra interest, features 3 different silkscreen designs hand-printed in silver metallic. The trans-seasonal polycotton knit will be especially comfortable when paired with tights, jeans, or even a slim skirt. The tunic is a size medium and is available today for $150. Another kimono-style hoppy jacket. This one is constructed in the traditional manner with no shoulder seams. The front and back were cut in a continuous length with the sleeves, sleeve facings, and band cut separately. The silk broadcloth is both sturdy and functional and wonderfully wrinkle resistant. The fabric was hand dyed, and then Susie Craigie used thickened fiber reactive dyes to silk screen many original images. The sleeves can be worn long or turned back to expose the contrasting facing. The jacket is basically one size and is available today for $275. The rich patina found on old copper pots and kettles inspired Barb Schutzgruber to design a fabric incorporating a 4-color progression, moving from tan to rust to orange to red and back to tan. The plain weave at 28 ends per inch combines a rayon boucle warp with an 8-2 tencel weft. The use of minimal seaming gives this top an easy, comfortable flare, allowing the color progression to be the focal point. Although this item is not for sale, Barbara does take commissions, as many of our artists do. Experimenting with Nuno felting and shibori dyeing, collaborators Anne Flora and Sharon Walagora decided that the resulting pieces might make a dramatic ensemble. The skirt began as almost 7 yards of page silk, a very lightweight, soft, and lustrous form of habitai silk. It was first dyed a deep gold base and then over-dyed in burgundy acid dye baths using the arashi technique. After the base layer was sewn, the remaining shibori panels were draped to feature the flame effect of the dyed silk. The top was fashioned from merino wool and silk chiffon that were both dyed a deep gold, and then Nuno felted with turquoise yarn between the layers, leaving the edges of the silk unfelted to create the ruffled design. Embellished with hand-couched burgundy wool in free-form shapes that emphasize the subtle shadings of the incorporated turquoise yarns, the wrap-style top features a cowl neck and is tied with a sash of stitched layers of gold chiffon. The ensemble is completed with one of Anne's signature fascinators, created with Nuno and shibori scraps, and added couching, beading, and veiling. It's a beautiful, beautiful ensemble. It is not available for sale today, but we had to show it to you. It ends our fashion show. I'd like you to please welcome back to the runway all of our wonderful models.